Hello everybody and welcome back to Operation Logistics, where, as usual, I'm procrastinating. This video goes live in like 2 hours. So, we need to get this moving, shall we? So I think first things first, we need to finish implementing packages and routes, fix the tooltip, and overhaul the worldview so that we can see where our stuff is. Obviously, we won't be doing that all in this episode. First thing I want to look into is maybe try to figure out what's going on with the tooltip scaling? Let's see here. So, tooltip, right here. So we're set at a pivot of 0, 1. So our pivot point is the top left. Our anchor is set to 0, 0, 0, 0, so that's accurate. Now, our tooltip appears to be correct in the X direction. It's in the Y direction where it seems to have some issues. So let's open up this here and see if we can figure out what's going on there. Mouse position.y minus mouse offset.y divided by screen.height times canvas scalar.reference resolution.y. Okay, let's take a quick look in here. Negative 110 is the mouse offset. I'm wondering right now why this is negative. And also, what is our canvas mode? Our canvas is in screen space camera mode. Okay. 1920 by 1080 screen scale with screen size, or rather scale with screen size. Okay. So, first things first, let's just try changing that sign. Now, the next thing I'm noticing here is we're dividing by the screen width and the screen height. This would be to get ourselves a percentage position, and then we multiply this by the reference resolution. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. There's clearly something wrong there, but let's figure out what that is here in a little bit. So let's go ahead and run this, and we're gonna see what's going on here. Just going to turn down the volume ever so slightly on that wonderful, wonderful Stellaris music. Also, the cat is currently wandering around, rampaging, looking for breakfast, so that might be a little distracting. That's always fun. So let's see here, the tooltip is actually completely unchanged by that sign change. That's intriguing. But yeah, there's definitely something wrong with the Y scaling. Well, here's my question. Input.mousePosition outputs in pixel coordinates, right? Yes, it does. We set the anchored position here. Okay. I really do want to fix this. Corrected mouse position.y equals mouse position.y. I mean, this doesn't have to be a vector 3, for one thing. This can all be a vector 2. Not like that's going to change anything, but that can all be a vector 2. And I am just wondering what exactly is going on here. We do have a reference to the canvas scalar. Out of curiosity, what happens if we just don't scale the canvas? Like, at all? I'm just curious. Ultimately, we're probably going to want to do this slightly different, but we'll see. We'll see if that even does anything whatsoever. I mean, theoretically it might. We'll see what that ends up doing exactly. And then we may try, like, just taking the regular position divided by the scale factor. Actually, That seems to work, it's just that the offset is kind of huge. Which, with it being 110 pixels, that makes sense. So, I mean, this seems to work just fine. So let's just come in here and change our offset to be, like, negative 25 pixels. Like so. Well, that was a whole lot easier than I was making it out to be. Don't even need to divide by the scale factor, for example. Assuming that this works, and I think it will. The real question is, what if we switch our aspect ratio and change our size and things like that? So let's switch over to, say, 5x4. Yeah. It works great in free aspect. Not so great in 16:9. Okay. So we are going to need to correct our mouse position. So, let's just try this. Float scale factor. I mean, we don't even need to do that, technically. Just take this here, take our position, and divide by canvas scalar dot scale factor. And we'll do the same thing here. Canvas scalar dot scale factor. Okay. And we'll see if that works. In free aspect, it was working fine with just the raw coordinates, but we shouldn't assume that we're going to be in free aspect all the time. Come on, you can do it. Come on. There we go. Okay, so that still has some X scaling issues. And some Y scaling issues. Excellent. Okay. So, we've got our canvas position of the mouse position. Then we're adding in the mouse offset. Divided by screen.width and screen.height. Get us a percentage, and then multiplied by the reference resolution to get us the correct position. I mean, that makes sense. The question is, why did this not work? Let's find out, shall we? We did change our offset, so this is going to be a little bit different. Mouse position.y plus mouse offset.y divided by screen.height times canvas scalar.reference resolution.y. The other thing we could try doing... no, I don't want to do that. Never mind. No, I don't want Google Chrome. Go away, Google Chrome. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Go to free aspect. Okay. So in 16:9, this is working as expected. It's in free aspect that it isn't. In every aspect ratio other than 16:9, in fact. So why is this only working in 16:9? Well, that's a good question. Is screen.width not changing when we change our aspect ratio and screen.height? I wonder. Canvas scalar dot, what do we have in here? We've got scale factor. We've got screen match mode. Which doesn't actually give us anything very useful. Nothing very useful at all in here, actually. We've got our reference resolution. We could try just... No, not send message. We could try just dividing by the scale factor. I would be a little shocked if this worked, but we'll give it a go. In fact, I'd be quite shocked if this worked. But let's find out. At least as soon as it gets going here. Come on. One of these days. There we go. And it's just not on the screen at all. Where is it? Tooltip, where are you? Really far away. Probably because we want to multiply by the scale factor. Is my guess. Let's try that again. Come on. Come on. One of these days. We really need to work on speeding up this startup time. Okay, so that definitely did not do the trick. Okay. So we then need to go ahead and find... I mean, the current width of the screen window in pixels is all well and good. Let's go ahead and debug.log screen.width. Okay. And that's going to output that every single frame. It's going to be a little bit obnoxious, but I just want to know what the actual screen width is here. Come on. One of these days. You can do it, Unity. Apparently Unity can't do it. Nah, Unity's got this. It's not going to be a problem. It just takes a little bit to generate all those biomes. Okay. So, our screen width is currently 1687. If we go to free aspect, it goes to 1920. Okay, so that does change as we change that. Interesting. So yeah, this is working perfectly in 16 by 9. In 16 by 10, it's working less perfectly. Mostly on the y-axis. Is it exclusively on the y-axis? It's a little hard to tell here. Let's go in here so that we can... Let's skip this tutorial, and then come in here so we can actually see a little bit. It is exclusively on the y-axis. It is probably because we are in match width or height, and we are matching width. If we change this to match height, I expect this to now work on the y-axis and not on the x-axis. Is that correct? We will find out. Is it because we're multiplying by the reference resolution? And we need to be multiplying by, like... Okay, so this does indeed appear to be working on the y-axis. And it is indeed failing on the x-axis. That is progress right there. Okay. So, I believe it is because we are multiplying based on the reference resolution here. When that's not actually necessarily the height, which is why it works in the same aspect ratio, but not outside of our aspect ratio. So we've got our reference resolution.y here. When in reality, maybe we need to be multiplying this by screen.width and screen.height. But if we do that, then we just have the raw coordinates. Okay, I didn't think this through, did I? I mean, we should still be in absolute coordinates, though. This should work scaled. Because we're getting a percentage position and then multiplying it by the reference. What if we go halfway in between? Do both work? Or does neither? Let's find out, shall we? It'll be one of those two. Although I'm not exactly sure which it'll be. Come on. You can do it. Yeah, that biome generation takes a while. Okay, it looks like we are in a situation where neither works. Good to know. Good to know. So, I mean, we've isolated this problem down, for sure. It's definitely to do with the canvas scaler. The question is, why is this code not working when we're not scaling for that size? And we've got match width or height. We could go to just expand. If we did that, would that just work? I think it would, actually. We'll see how our UI scales with expand. At least as soon as it gets around to playing. Realistically, we probably could turn off, like, the hex manager. Okay. It, does not work with expand. In fact, it kind of... an intriguing sort of thing for it to do, isn't it? I actually kind of like that. It keeps it on the screen on the x-axis. And then the y-axis, we would need to add a control to keep it on the screen. But I think that's cool. That's in free aspect, though. Let's try it out in 16:9. In 16:9, it just works normally. It just works. In 16:10, it doesn't. In the slightest. Okay. So we need to find the proper mathematical solution here. But we've definitely learned a few things about how this is working. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put a cut in here, and next episode we'll see about fixing this. See you all then.